The crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature, right? Now the sixth characteristic is that whenever a crystalline solid, let me take this example, taken it, a piece of a crystalline solid, and when we are going to cut it with a sharp edge tool, right? Then the two pieces which will be obtained will have the smooth surface or a clean surface. That means there will be smoothness will be there. So it means what does it say, can be concluded from here that crystalline solid when they are cut with sharp edged tool gives a smooth, or we can say a clean cleavage. This is going to the cleavage property of it, right? The sixth point was the is the cleavage property. That when it is cut with a sharp edge tool, that time we will have a very smooth surface will be obtained. And seventh one is that the crystalline solids are known as true solids. That means they are going to fulfill the characteristics of a solid. That is, they will going to have a definite shape, definite volume, definite mass, right? Will have a high density, will have a sharp melting point, right? And the extent of diffusion will be less, and they are almost incompressible. So they will be showing the characteristics of a solid. That's why the crystalline solids are known as true solids.
Click.
Now the next classification of solid or type of solid is amorphous solids. The amorphous solids are those substances whose constituent particles are not arranged in a definite pattern in a three-dimensional space. So amorphous solid, the substances whose constituent particles. Now I think everyone knows about what does it mean by saying constant particles? Atoms, molecules, or ion. The substances whose constituent particles are not arranged in a regular pattern in the three-dimensional space. Right? So regular pattern will not be observed. Now let us consider this example. I'm just drawing it. Let it be AB type crystal, and you can see here that I'm randomly placing the constituent particles in this solid. There is no definite order that after A I'm putting B, or after 2A I'm getting 1B. There is not this order followed. Okay, so this will be the example of the amorphous solid where there is no definite order or there is no regular pattern in the three-dimensional space. Right. So as a result, what will happen? They don't have a regular geometry. Right? They will not have a regular geometry, or a particular geometry will not be a tetrahedral, triclinic, monoclinic, no such rhombohedral, no such geometry will be assigned to the amorphous solid. Second is, since they don't have a regular pattern, so they don't have a don't have sharp means fixed melting point. Right, so when they are heated, they just take the heat, and the melting, that is flow, solid getting changed into liquid starts to flow. That temperature is not fixed. Third is enthalpy of fusion is also not fixed. Right, so enthalpy of fusion is also not fixed. Fourth property of it is that so let me just the cleavage property. So they don't give a sharp or clean surface when they are cut with the sharp edge tool. Don't give a clean or a sharp or a smooth surface when cut with the sharp edged tool. Means that if you have taken this, it has been cut, so the surface is not going to be the smooth. Uneven surface will be there, right? And the next is that is the isotropic. The crystalline solids, they are the amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. As we discussed in the crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature. They are just opposite to this. What were the anisotropy? Where the physical properties in all direction of a substance have the different values. So they will be known as anisotropic substances. But here they are isotropic in nature. It means that the magnitude of the physical properties, right, in all the direction, right, this is with the x dash, and here it is x y. So x dash is also v and x y is also v. So isotropic nature means it is a property by virtue of which the substance will have the same magnitude of the physical properties in all direction. Physical measurement will have the same value. And why is it so? Because here you can see that in isotropic, first you will see the xx dash. You can see the pattern here, it's A, B, A, A. It is an irregular pattern. And here also same A, B, A. It's also no symmetry is there, no uniformity is there. So both the direction, they are identical because here it is also random distribution, here is also random distribution. So they both will have the same magnitude of the physical properties measurement, right? And the seventh is that these amorphous solids, they are known as false solid, or we say it is pseudo solid, right? Or they are known as super cooled liquid. Now let us take the example of glass here. Now glass, when it has been melt down, right? So here it is super cooled liquid, means the liquid which is being super cooled, and then they are getting changed into the solid state. So just by cooling and then heating and then cooling and then heating, this process is known as annealing. So by doing this step, cooling, and heating, they are being changed into the solid state. So that's why they are not super cooled liquid. And false, why? Because they are not going to show all the properties or all the characteristics of the solid, right? Because the glass is actually a fluid when it is in the liquid state, right? So that's why it is known as a false solid or pseudo solid. And we can take examples here, the as I discussed earlier also, rubber, plastics, and the polymers. Maximum all the polymers, they will be coming under these categories, amorphous solids. Now the amorphous solids, they have got the uses in our daily life also. For example, rubber, it is being used in household work also, in the industries also, right? To make this tires, automobile tires also, by just vulcanization of the rubber, right? Second is the silicon, right, which is again a amorphous solid. It has been used in the superconductors also, right? And photovoltaic cells also it has been used, right? And the polymers, they have got the day-to-day uses, have got various uses in our daily life. So today we have just discussed that what are the solids, the type of the solids, it's two types, crystalline and amorphous solid, and we have discussed them individually, their characteristics, right? And just try to point out the differences between crystalline and amorphous solid. So while pointing out the differences, we will just go through the characteristics of both crystalline and amorphous solids, right? And here we have discussed the crystalline characteristics of the crystalline amorphous solid, right? And here it will be, here it will be going to be fifth point, and this is the sixth point, right? So just go through these characteristics of both a crystalline and amorphous solid and just point out the difference between these two types of solid.